Hi, and welcome to Makeup Mugwump. My name is Leanne. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's do a collection video for my Beauty Bay palettes. I have a lot, and I've gathered them all up here next to me, perched precariously, so that I can show you my whole collection. These are my Beauty Bay eyeshadow palettes, and I don't have every single one, but I have a lot. And I can tell you a little bit about most of them because I've used them. Some of them I haven't. I'll tell you which ones those are. And I can tell you what I like about them when we get to them. This look on my face is a little disturbing, but I used the Retro Love palette from Beauty Bay. I hadn't used it yet. And I did a collaboration video with my friend Sarah on Lotus Liner. They all fell over. Just ha ha ha. Okay, I did a collaboration with my friend Sarah on Lotus Liner. We did two different looks from the Retro Love palette from Beauty Bay. Let me show you what this one looks like if you hadn't seen it. This is her. She has a couple of rows of cool tones, a couple of rows of warmer tones, but they're gorgeous. So the thing about Beauty Bay palettes is you love them or you hate them. I love them. And I actually get along with the mattes and the shimmers. Some people just like the shimmers, but they're amazing to me. Both mattes and shimmers are amazing. The shimmers are unbelievable, but the mattes also perform. I am a lighter skin tone. It doesn't take much for pigment to show on me, so maybe that's part of it. But good golly, this is such a fun palette. I can still get a neutral look out of this if I need to for, like, you know, going to work or something that's a little less colorful, but I can also have a lot of fun. There's two looks from that. But let's move on and let me show you the rest of my Beauty Bay palettes. Okay, I have the little Disney Color Collection. They had a variety of these little tiny mini palettes come out. They're all matte and they're all color palettes from old Disney movies. So from the Jungle Book 1967, these are the colors that are in the palette, but these are the very specific colors that Disney used in these things. So for example, the jungle trees are this color, the jungle leaves are this color, Bagheera's fur is this color. So it's the exact color that Disney used in the original movies. Again, all mattes. They have little Mickey faces imprinted. This is Alice in Wonderland palette. And then this is Dumbo. I believe this one, yes. Look how cool that is. So this is Dumbo's skin, his ears, his eyes. Such a clever idea for a palette. Such a clever idea. If you are interested in color things, just a really cool idea. I don't know that they took off. I don't know that they were very popular, but they should have been because they're gorgeous shades. But just the idea of it is so clever. I think that's so smart and so unique. I like those palettes. Okay, I'm gonna I have them kind of arranged by size. And so that's the way we're gonna go. This is the Techna Days palette. And you can actually see on mine, this shade here, Spectron, is doing that thing where the oil is kind of making a bit of a mess. This is the only palette that it's done this on, but that shade itself is still performing, I mean, stunningly. It's this beautiful mint metallic-y gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. That's the only shade that it's ever happened on in one of my Beauty Bay palettes. It's happened in other indie brands palettes quite frequently, but that it's not affecting the shadows to the left or the right. It's just affecting the cardboard around it. But that's Techna Days. It's lovely. They're not neons. They're just bright, pretty bright colors, but they're really pretty. Here is Utopia. This is an all matte palette as well. These are, we're not quite to neon, So this one might be considered neon. This is not neon. They're brights, but they're not neons. They might be coming off like they're looking like neons, but they're not. They're gorgeous, all matte. Okay, some babies. Some babies. This I got when this neutral collection came out. I bought all 3 sizes. Even though there were some dupes, this palette is one of my favorites. This one specifically. It's all matte. Look at it. It's just the most beautiful matte neutral palette. It's stunning. This is a workhorse palette. It is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. This palette coming up, somebody recommended to me on my channel, and I went and looking for it. It's called the Golden Age. It has a like a raised like emblem on the front. This is a 9 pan. This is unbelievably gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. I've used it several times, if you can tell, and I love it. It is beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, the Golden Age. Don't know if this one really got much hype either, but it's everything. Okay, those are my baby palettes. Now let's move to the 16 color palettes that I've got. Oh gosh. Okay, this one came in like maybe a mystery box. They have this palette in, and I don't have it in any other size. So there are like a big old, I think it's 40. I don't know, we'll look at the numbers, but a big old palette, a medium-sized palette, and a baby palette of their like normal core line. This is one of the core lines, and it's called Fiery. This is the 16 color palette in the Fiery, and I thought I won't get a lot of use out of this. I think it's actually gorgeous. And again, it came in a mystery box. I did not choose this and buy this, but I am so happy that I have it. It is fall in a palette. It is just, I'm not a super warm tone lover girl, but this is fall, and it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. These orangey copperies look so good with my eye color. I have gray eyes, but they can look more blue if I have those types of colors. This top row is more neutral and less punchy. So if it was, I could grab this palette any time of the year if I wanted to. Colors are not seasonal, but in my brain they are. This is more of a fall palette for me, and I'm happy to pull that out. But there's Fiery in the 16 color. All of them have little mirrors, by the way, so in case that's a thing you like. Here's the second of the trio of the neutral 16 colors. This one is absolutely gorgeous. You've got one row of mattes here, 3 mattes down in the bottom, and then those are all shimmery gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning, just like the 9 pan. The 9 pan's all matte. Now we're getting into shimmers. Why do you see the big girl? The big girl is amazing, but this one is so beautiful. You cannot beat this with a stick. It is so gorgeous. It's just shiny and just so beautiful. There's a black down there. There's a deep brown, nice medium tones, just everything. Love the neutral. Okay, here's the Bright. Now I know they have Bright 2.0. I don't own Bright 2.0, but I do have the original Bright. She's cute, right? She is cute. I'm knocking my finger into the black. So the bottom row is fabulous. It has the white, a kind of a neutral lighter brown, a milk chocolate brown, and a black. And then we've got a bit of a rainbow at the top. A mix of mattes and shimmers. And so fun. So fun. This one's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That's the regular Bright. Again, I don't own 2.0, but I do like the Brights. Okay, another core of their line is the Berries. This is the 16 pans of the Berries. I have not used this palette. Again, a matte and shimmer mix on this one, but a good light to deep range. It's so pretty. I probably will use this in the fall. That would be a fall palette in my brain. Here is another core palette from them. This is a 16 pan of Midnight. Oh, this makes me happy. I have not used this one in this size, so I haven't used my 16 pan, but she's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So beautiful. Okay, this one's gonna hurt. It just hurts. It's so pretty. This is the Earthy palette, which is the 16 color green. You've got some grungy moss. You've got olivey gold. You've got some grass green, like some true grass green, emerald green, some mint. You got a little bit of a gray with a greenish kind of undertone. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. That's Earthy. This is the Nude palette. The Nude palette, it reminds me of the Viseart, like neutral mattes. It really does. It just reminds me of that, even though these aren't all matte. There's something about this color story that's what it triggers in my brain. But you've got all matte down here, all matte except for the silver here, and then the neutrals in the middle. Let me hold up this is the Nude palette, and let me show you the neutral palette next to it so you can see them side by side. You just hold on. I stuck my finger in the black again. Me and this black are gonna go today. Okay. This is neutral. This is nude. Let me try to actually get you in there. So neutral is more cool tone. I know it's supposed to be neutral. I see more cool tones in the neutral. And then, but there's not warmth in the neutral to me at all. There they are. Nude, neutral. Both gorgeous. Both gorgeous. Okay, the very first palette that I ever bought was Wilderness. This is the 20 color palette, so a little bit bigger than the 16. And it is probably one of my favorites because it was my first, but also it is absolutely gorgeous. The murky swampy of this row is everything. It's so beautiful. I had to make myself put this away. I know I have a look on my channel with it, and I swatched the whole thing for you. First palette I ever got. Let me hold it up next to the Earthy 16 for you so that you can see the greens kind of next to each other. Wilderness is no longer available from Beauty Bay. It was limited edition. Excuse me. However, Mercari is a great place to stock some palettes. Put you a, like save your search and then put on notifications for the search on Mercari. And when somebody puts one up there for a decent price, snag it. That's how I got a palette we're going to talk about in just a second. But here's Earthy 16 pan, and here is Wilderness. Ooh, back it up just a little bit, sister. Okay. Do you see how Wilderness is grungier than Earthy? Some of the same tones of greens in the next to the last row there, but we got more grunge in Wilderness, which is why I like it better, but this is still gorgeous. Okay. That was my first palette. And then I bought, you know, everything since then. However, this one came out before Wilderness, and I didn't know about it enough to buy it. So I did buy this off of Mercari from someone. This is Age of Opulence. It hurts. It's so pretty. It hurts. Look how gorgeous she is. Absolutely stunning. Just gorgeous. Let me hold up Midnight and Age of Opulence. Sorry for moving the camera. So that you can see we're pinkier, like more fuchsia, and of course neutrals. But there's Midnight, there's Age of Opulence. So beautiful. Both of them in their own way. She's gorgeous. Okay, this one came out a little while ago. This is Love Notes. I believe it was also limited edition. You can, I would do the Mercari thing. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Just pastel beautifulness, but some neutrals. Like if you look at this quad up here, it doesn't look super pastel and like, you know, Easter eggy, but it was gorgeous. This is Love Notes. She's beautiful. This one is a more recent one, not the most recent one, but this is Dark Fantasy. Stop it. You stop it. It's, I can't keep saying beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. I can't keep saying it. Look at that grain. Look at that grain. Amazing. Here's another recent one. This is Nude Mood. This one's a little odd. A lot of people struggled with this one because of the color story. I'll tell you what I do, which I have told you a few times before, but if this is your first experience with me, this is what I do when I see a color story like this. And there are a couple other palettes that I have to do this with. And that is, I have to think about it in quads. So I look at the 4 shades that are together, and then that could make a look for me. These 4, these 4, these 4. Like, it doesn't matter which 4, as long as I'm looking at a quad, it works. I don't know who, I didn't hear this from One. This is not a thing that I have been told by anyone. This is just what works for me in Beauty Bay palettes. So if this is what they planned, great. But this is what works for me. If I can't make sense of it, I'm starting to look at quads. And then I make a look. And I've never been disappointed. There you go. This is New Mood. And it's beautiful. Beautiful. This one is called Sunset Horizons. This one is also, I think, an older one. And it's not like earth-shattering as far as color story goes, but it's a sunset palette. Like, that's what she is. They're pretty colors, and it's not my favorite. If the house was burning down and it was between this and, you know, Wilderness, I'm picking Wilderness every time, friends. But it's, you know, it's very pretty and it gets the job done. But that's Sunset Horizons. Okay, probably the most famous of all the Beauty Bay palettes is the Nikki Tutorials collab palette with Beauty Bay. It is different because she opens like so, like that. But look at her. This is probably the first reviews that I really saw on Beauty Bay palettes, and it was Tara Baby's #1 palette of the year, or like 2 years ago or whatever it was. Tara Baby's buys a lot of cosmetics and reviews a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I love her for that for me. But this, when she says out of everything she used in the year, this was her favorite, that means so much. I do like Nikki Tutorials. I don't necessarily buy collabs for YouTubers that I watch, like, you know, automatically. I don't like just buy their collab. So I waited quite a while to buy this, and then it was when like shipping kind of healed itself from the UK that I really enjoyed this. The packaging on this is absolutely amazing. I really enjoy the dichotomy of the art styles on this a lot. I think that's really cool. Okay, now we're going to get to the big honkers. The big honkers are the giant, they're 42 colors. They're 42 shadows, and they're huge. This is the Evolve palette. This is, it's very neutral, but there are a couple of pops in here. So 4 rows of mattes, and then 2 rows of shimmers. And you might notice that it is, the columns are numbered and the rows are named, so that if you were new potentially to doing, you know, makeup, and you wanted kind of a guide of what to use and what colors go where, this is a wonderful palette because it tells you, wow, like if you pick any one of them, you can make a look, but you've got your base shade. I've stuck fingers in so many of these. You've got a base shade as the top row. You don't have to do this, but it's a guide if you want to. A transition, which is kind of a mid-tone, a crease getting darker, a liner is probably the darkest that you would use. And then you've got a pop of color, and then a highlight, kind of frosty, really pretty shade for your inner corner, the brow bone, or on your lid, whatever you want. This is a really cool palette for new users. Again, I don't know that this one is available on their website or their app, but you can definitely look for it either used or secondhand. This one is available on their app. They almost always have a sale, so don't pay full price for these. Just wait a week and they will go on sale. This is the 42 color of the Midnight palettes. We've seen the 16 color of this one, but this is the Big Mama. Come on now. This is the Big Mama Midnight. And it's stunningly gorgeous. It's every blue, purple, you know, that you could imagine, and it's absolutely stunning. The next 42 color that I have is a bright one, but it's the Bright Matte. So this is what I love about Beauty Bay is they will come out with very specific. This is an all matte palette and it's intentional. This is a rainbow palette, but it is in hue. It goes from lighter pastels all the way to the deeper shades. So see each row. You've got a neutral row up here, but then you've got the pinky pinks, like orangey reds, yellowy greens, teals down to the deep blue, and violets down to the deep purple. So if you look at this column versus this column, it's smart. Somebody who sets up their palette, the way that they organize them makes sense to my brain. There's only one other company that does this that works for me, and that is Blend Bunny. I love how these are set up. I love how Beauty Bay sets theirs up, and I love how Blend Bunny sets theirs up. Here is the Earthy Big Papa. This is the Earthy 42. Look at her. If you missed out on Wilderness and you cannot find it, you can get most of those tones, with the exception of the super, like a lot of the reds. You get a couple of reds down here, and you get a couple of murkies right in here. But it's not exactly the same, but you can get the same type of look from the Earthy 42. You cannot get the same type of look from the Earthy 16. Not the same kind of palette as Wilderness. But she's gorgeous, isn't she? Yes. Okay. This is another collaboration palette. This is the Jade Thirlwall, I believe. And this one is another kind of chaotic palette. If you look at it and you are like, I don't know what I would do with that, you're not alone. This is a kind of a chaotic palette in the arrangement of the shades. But if you look at some quads, things can make sense in this palette. They really can. But this is probably the most chaotically organized one that I own. Still amazing quality. It's gorgeous. And there are beautiful, stunning shades in here. But a little bit chaotic in the organization. And definitely not arranged, you know, like the Bright Mattes, not at all that arranged. So there we go. And by far, my favoriteest 42 color is that neutral line. It is just unbelievable. Look at this. I am fair toned. I gravitate towards cooler tone, rosy tone, browns, mauves, and this is gorgeous. This palette was made for me. Absolutely gorgeous. We have a mix of shimmers and mattes, and this, if I had to rescue only one palette and Wilderness was already under my arm and I thought I could grab another, this one I would totally grab. If I was on a desert island and I had to pick one Beauty Bay palette that I was only allowed to use till the end of time, it might be this one. I don't know. That would be hard, but it might be this one. Because look at her. I mean, every neutral look you could possibly want in this palette. So pretty, so very pretty. And that, my friends, that's my Beauty Bay palette collection. There are a lot of them. I didn't count. If you counted, put the number down below, please. But I didn't count them because I don't want to know. But if you did, thanks. Do you have these palettes? Are any of these interesting to you? Are you interested in the brand? Do you want to look into specific ones? I am trying not to buy every single palette that Beauty Bay comes out with anymore, because I have so many and they really do run the gamut for me. I've got every neutral I could possibly want. I've got rainbows and everything in between. Do I need every single palette that they come out with from now on? I'm telling myself I don't. Do I love them? Yes. Are they affordable? Heck yes. And that makes me love them even more. It will depend on the color story. It really will. I know they're going to come out with a stunner, and I know I'm not going to be able to resist it because of the color story. And that's okay. Some people do really bad things with their money, and I buy makeup. So I tell myself it's fine. I pay my bills, and I also pay these bills. So I have a good time. I'm wondering what else they can do that they haven't done, but I've been shocked by other brands in the same fashion before, and just delighted when they come out with a new palette that I haven't thought of putting those colors together in that way, and I love that. So the door is open for Beauty Bay. It's one of my favorite formulas, and it is a delight to use their eyeshadows. You don't have to spend a ton of money to enjoy really good pigment, really smooth metallics that are just stunning and popping and that you love. So I think it's a great brand. I think their shipping has gotten much better in the United States, and so I'm happy to order from them even more than I was before. So let me know down below what you think. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And if you haven't, go check out Lotus Liner's. Her videos on her Beauty Bay palettes are amazing too. I'll put her channel down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Bye.